This is going to be a story that we will all go back to in the next 10 years. Last night on Friday Night SmackDown, the ending of the show was pure cinema, especially when they were in the world's famous arena, Madison Square Garden. So SmackDown kicks off the show where we were supposed to have a Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. Paul Heyman was waiting for the arrival of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. They arrived to the arena, but Heyman notices that Jacob Fatu wasn't there. So he asks Solo, "Where's Jacob Fatu?" Solo Sikoa says, "He's not here." "Really, Solo? Do you think we're dumb?" It's always that same excuse, "Oh, he's not here," or "Oh, she's not here," when you clearly are lying. So they're walking towards the entranceway, they do their entrance. As they were walking, another vehicle shows up to the arena. And I'm like, who is this? Is this Roman Reigns? Is this Jacob Fatu? Who is it? Turns out the people who were in that vehicle were Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton, wanting to get revenge against the Bloodline. And the thing is that they didn't even say a single word. They just rushed into the entranceway, going face to face with the Bloodline, and they all started fighting. Cody was fighting Solo Sikoa, Randy Orton was fighting Tama Tonga, Kevin Owens was fighting Tonga Loa. Like, it's just pure chaos to kick off Friday Night SmackDown. The Bloodline ended up retreating. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton saying, "Hey, get your asses back in here. We want more." They were basically saying, "It's on site." SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis came out and tried to sort things out with security, but Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens, they don't give a damn. Every single security guard was taken out, and Nick Aldis went to the back and ended up getting the New York Police Department to get Cody, Randy, and Kevin out of here. Obviously, if those three refuse to listen to what they have to say, they're going to end up getting arrested. So Cody, Randy, and Kevin, they ended up going back to the vehicle, and they just left the arena. So now we go to the end of the show where we have the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Paul Heyman were all in the ring, and Solo Sikoa says, "I'm here to introduce to you the newest member of the Bloodline, my enforcer, Jacob Fatu." So Jacob Fatu comes out, and his entrance was great. The graphics, the music, the fire, everything about Jacob Fatu's entrance was great. So he's in the ring, and now we have Solo Sikoa saying, "Madison Square Garden, acknowledge me." Paul Heyman is literally trying to tell Solo Sikoa, "Hey, you can't do that." Obviously, he said that because that's what Roman Reigns does. So he asked every single member from Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu to acknowledge him. And that's what they did. But now, Solo Sikoa turned his attention to Paul Heyman. And look at Paul Heyman's face. He is so emotional. He is just scared. Lots of people on social media said that Paul Heyman didn't even sleep the day before SmackDown. And I do give him that respect. So Solo Sikoa brings out a Bloodline chain. I don't know what it's called. Please, let me know in the comments on what it's called. But for me, I'm just going to call it a Bloodline chain. So Solo Sikoa hands Paul Heyman the Bloodline chain and the microphone, and he wants Paul Heyman to acknowledge him. Paul Heyman says, "Solo, I love you, and I acknowledge that you are not my tribal chief." Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu were all staring at him dead in the eye, and Paul Heyman knew he was going to get his ass kicked. And when Paul Heyman said, "You are not my tribal chief," the pop that this got was absolutely insane. So now we got Paul Heyman being beaten up by the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa gives Paul Heyman a Samoan spike. Jacob Fatu gives Paul Heyman a freaking diving headbutt. And then after this, the rest of the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, they ended up doing the triple powerbomb that used to be Roman's move along with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose of The Shield. They triple powerbombed Paul Heyman right through the announce table. And Paul Heyman legitimately selling this like if he's dead. Jacob Fatu puts the Bloodline chain onto Solo Sikoa, and acknowledging that Solo Sikoa is the new tribal chief. And that's where SmackDown went off the air with that final scene. When I was watching this, I completely thought that Jimmy Uso was going to come out to save Paul Heyman, or maybe even Roman Reigns was going to make his return to save Paul Heyman. None of those happened, and we're just going to have to see how this plays out. But remember, we have a 6-man tag team match at Money in the Bank. It's going to be Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens taking on 3 members of the Bloodline. Now, is it Solo, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa? Or is it Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa? We don't know yet, but I'm sure we'll find out on the SmackDown before Money in the Bank. Now, when we get to Money in the Bank, what happens? Does nothing happen? Or do we get the return of Jimmy Uso? Or will Jimmy Uso show up with Roman Reigns? We don't know. We can't even predict on what's going to happen in that match. But when Roman Reigns makes his return, the pop that he is going to get is going to be generational. It is rumored that the SummerSlam main event is going to be Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. And I believe that match is where Roman Reigns is going to show up. This is going to be a battle for the ages. So what did you think of the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell for more videos. Follow me on Twitter at EthanSoyShow, and I'll see you in the next one.